Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
And the wind is kicked up a little bit here, but otherwise a beautiful December winter day in Landover, Maryland. 43 degrees and sunny. No rain in the forecast. Leslie Frazier, the interim coach last year. This was the site of his first win as a Viking head coach when he beat Donovan McNabb and the Redskins last year. And Mike Shanahan, who actually was an offensive coordinator back in the late 70s for the University of Minnesota. And his son Kyle Shanahan, offensive coordinator, born in Minneapolis. Redskins won the toss and will receive.
Hey, Chris, before I get knee-deep in football, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, including you, because you know how my mind works once this baby's killed.
And we're at game 15, Redskins and Vikings. Yes, a touchback. We have seen way too much of that this year as Brandon Banks watches it go into the end zone. And from the 20-yard line, Rex Grossman, 58% of his passes completed, 13 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. And remember, he was benched during that 3-game stretch.
Well, and listen, he's got a great feel for this offense. The whole thing for him is ball security, 10 consecutive games with a turnover. Evan Royster getting the start today. And they are using much more of the fullback since Fred Davis, the tight end, has been suspended. I got to tell you, the offensive line really stepped up last week on the road against the New York Giants, in particular Willie Smith, the college free agent at left tackle.
Pass is incomplete for Santana Moss. The Vikings led by Jared Allen up front with 17.5 sacks. That's second in the NFL. 21 is the Viking record held by Chris Dolman.
Yeah, Robinson's no slouch on the other side, and the inside defensive tackles have got to play better, especially when you figure Rex Grossman is a midline thrower. Not a lot of movement, solid in the linebacker core, and this is where they've really struggled. No interceptions for this defense since week 5. And in that span, they've given up 25 touchdowns. They've really struggled on the back end.
A record 9 straight games without a pick. Grossman's throw is almost intercepted. Jamarcus Sanford at his safety spot. Santana Moss, the intended receiver, and Sanford, who plays a lot on special teams.
And it looks like he got hurt. Yeah, trying to make that interception. That ball just too far out in front of Santana Moss. You'll watch it come right down the numbers here. Moss reaches out for it, and it looked like he had just clouded the vision point of Jamarcus Sanford, who couldn't see the ball until it hit him in the hip.
Yeah, so he steps out. Jared Page, number 24, already thin in that area, steps in at safety on 3rd and 10. Santana Moss, first down, Redskins. Moss's 40th catch of the year, a 19-yard gain.
And watch the pressure coming right up the gut, just as I said, on Rex Grossman, who hangs in there, Chris, and unloads this ball. Kevin Williams just blasts him. I mean, that's a body rocker. And Rex had to hang in there and wait for that route to develop downfield. The in cut was Santana Moss. That's a big-time throw when you know you're going to get a big-time hit.
On a 3rd down, just shy of the 40. It's first down now, and there is Evan Royster, Penn State's all-time career rushing leader, averaging 6 yards a carry. He's replacing Roy Halou, who had 3 100-yard games, the rookie who replaced Tim Hightower, who started the year for Mike Shanahan's offense at running back.
Well, I know Mike Shanahan appreciates guys that were big players on big stages, and this cat certainly was at Penn State. You know, their running game has changed a little bit with him out there. Mike Shanahan, always known as a zone scheme guy, which is all the combination blocking up front, guys working together. More gap blocking, more man blocking, more power runs and counters with Evan Royster.
On 2nd and 6, Grossman looks to throw. Has plenty of time, but floats it over the head of Dante Stallworth, just kind of getting rid of it. It'll be 3rd down.
Had all day to throw. Good coverage down the field. And that's, again, I think when you talk about that secondary and the Minnesota Vikings, they have had their challenges. And with Jamarcus Sanford being hurt now going to the locker room, that's going to even make things more difficult for him.
Grossman facing another third down. They need to get up just short of the 50 on the Redskins side of the field.
And this is where Minnesota has really struggled, Chris, talking to Jared Allen. He said it's clear our issues are not being able to get off the field on third down.
And that pass was in and out of the hands at midfield of Santana Moss. Marcus Sherrills was all over him. The fans here wanted a flag. There is no flag.
And that's a matchup I think Rex and the Washington Redskins are going to try to hit all day. Sherrills is the nickel corner. He lines up in the slot. It's typically where you're going to see Santana Moss, and made a nice play from the backside, just getting his hand around in front of Santana Moss and knocking it down.
Sav Rocca ready to punt, and Marcus Sherrills back to receive. It bounces, and from Minnesota, they will take over on first down. London Fletcher at age 36. We'll get a look at him. He leads the NFL in tackles.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, Redskins on defense, and one of the great stories. London Fletcher never missed a start. He'll be a free agent after this year, and he wants to stay in Washington, leading this defense on 1st and 10. Adrian Peterson with a sore right ankle. Gets out of one tackle and picks up maybe another yard. And Christian Ponder, who took over for Donovan McNabb, 13 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. His first start came late October against the Packers.
Yeah, and everything will be built around Adrian Peterson. Only 10 carries for him last week. Did have 6 yards a pop. They will try to get to Percy Harvin early in this game as well. John Sullivan, the center, and Phil Lodeholt, we think the two most consistent players up front for the Minnesota Vikings on their offensive line.
Peterson, nowhere. A head-on tackle by Brian Orakpo. It'll be third down. Vikings come in 2-12, 6 straight losses.
Yeah, watch Brian Orakpo. They call this spilling it, and he's just going to get underneath the blocker and force this thing back to the outside. He's on a stunt charge inside and just goes right through Jim Kleinsaucer. One-on-one tackle. Adrian Peterson in the backfield for a tackle for loss. Well done.
On 3rd and 5 after no gain. Christian Ponder, he's athletic, he can run, and he slides for a first down just short of the 35. And we talked about London Fletcher, but Barry Cofield has received praise up front as part of this Redskin defense that really has played well all season long.
No, these three guys really set the tone. Adam Carricker's having his best year. Stephen Bowen's got 6 sacks. They get it done. Ryan Kerrigan, certainly in the conversation as Rookie of the Year, has actually made Brian Orakpo a better player this year. Believe it or not, played better on the corners, Chris. They have not been so great at the safety position.
Toby Gerhart checks in on 1st and 10. Ponder open for Shanko. He dropped it. Would have been inside the 40 of Washington.
Boy, they just got DeJuan Gomes in play action. Watch this, because he's going to go right by him, but watch Gomes step up because of the play action. Visante Shanko runs right by him. Ponder puts up a perfect throw, hits him right between the 8 and the 1, and Visante Shanko can't hang on. But that really comes off of Adrian Peterson. And everything that Adrian does is going to suck up those linebackers and safeties in the play action stuff. You got to make that play if you're Shanko.
The handoff to Harvin, who goes nowhere. Redskin defense tough there. Visante Shanko is he was born in Laurel, Maryland. And Percy Harvin leading the team with 72 catches from Virginia Beach, Virginia. And a guy that they want to get the ball to. He looks like he's banged up a little bit.
Well, he's 185 pounds, Chris, and he is reckless in terms of how he plays. He does have more than 40 carries this year. And he's at 7 yards a crack, and he's not feeling good.
They're already, you said, thin in the secondary, thin at wide receiver. And we will check on the injury of Percy Harvin.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
44th rushing attempt for Harvard. He's on his way to the locker room.
Yeah, and I don't agree with them running him at running back right at the start of this game. He's your most electric weapon in the passing game. You've got Adrian Peterson close to health. I don't agree with the decision to hand him the football.
It's a screen to Peterson on 3rd down, and he stops short of the 40. It'll be a 4th down for the Vikings.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're already limited in your receiver core in terms of big-time weapons. Harvin's clearly your guy. I know you're ambitious to get him the ball early, but you got Adrian Peterson, who's in his 2nd game back off an ankle injury. Let him handle the workload, and putting Harvin in and putting him in harm's way and handing him the ball as a running back early in this game. Not so sure. As a matter of fact, I don't agree with that decision to do that.
But also Toby Gerhart. Michael Jenkins is injured. Remember earlier in the year, Bernard Berrien was released as Brandon Banks has the punt and is brought down right away inside the 15. A terrific special teams play by Brandon Burton. A 45-yard punt without a return on Christmas Eve. Scoreless, Redskins and Vikings.
Today's game is sponsored by Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close from Warner Brothers Pictures. Starts December 25th in select theaters. By Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And by the Ford F-150, the only truck available with EcoBoost.
Already a physically bruising matchup here with the Redskins and Vikings on 1st down from the 16. It is Evan Royster who gets powering his way up across the 24-yard line. He's in for Roy Halou, who had a toe injury and a knee injury. Halou had been carrying the load. In fact, they worked him out in pregame warm-ups hoping he'd be able to go, but was unable to, so you had Ryan Terrain behind Royster after his 8-yard pickup. Redskins trying to get some wins and avoid a last-place finish in the NFC East for the 4th straight year. Royster. 1st down, Redskins.
Tell you, matchup we'll have our eyes on all day today is Jared Allen, as you said, 17.5 sacks. Looking for the franchise record 21 sacks, which Chris Dolman has for the Vikings, and of course our own Michael Strahan with 22.5. He's going against a rookie college free agent in Willie Smith out there at left tackle, who's been playing for Trent Williams. I'm sure they'll give that left tackle some help, but Jared's going to be a problem for him.
On 1st down, Grossman goes down. Looked like the ball may have come out, and it did. The Vikings have the football. It's another Grossman fumble. Brian Robinson actually came up with the fumble.
Oh, he caused it too. I believe Robinson, you're going to see him here. He's going to go just flash inside and then reach out with his right hand and knock this ball out. See, as he reaches out right there, so that's going to be a sack and a forced fumble all in one.
Jamarcus Sanford back in the game, pushing his way. Remember, Grossman said, you talked about Jared Allen, said, I think that's his brother on the other side, the way he played.
Oh, that's the trifecta. That is a huge play in production points now. This league's all about production as a D lineman, so you get a sack, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery all in the same play.
8th fumble of the year for Grossman, the 4th he's lost, and Peterson carries. And Mike Shanahan said to us that I understand interceptions, but it's the fumbles. You got to protect the football. That's what upsets me about Rex Grossman.
And especially in this area of the field. I mean, you got your back close to your own goal line, and Rex just never saw him coming. You're absolutely right. He said every interception's kind of got its own story, and Rex has thrown some big, long interceptions on 3rd down that really amount to punts. But it's the lost fumbles that have really stuck in the head coach's craw.
On 2nd and 6, Peterson with nowhere to go. And that is a great tackle by the rookie, Ryan Kerrigan.
And this is why Ryan Kerrigan is right in the running for the Defensive Rookie of the Year. And he's a complete player.
You have a vote on that award.
I absolutely do. And watch him set the edge and keep his outside arm free, anticipating that Adrian Peterson's going to bounce it. I mean, just plays the leverage point perfectly. Keeps the outside arm, the outside leg free, just as you should do as an outside player. And Adrian Peterson runs right into him. A great example of really what Kerrigan is as a run defender. That was perfect.
On 3rd down, the pass is high and incomplete. Peterson couldn't hold on to it, so it'll be a 4th down field goal try. Perry Riley covering, and Kerrigan, every defensive snap the rookie has played, the first rounder out of Purdue.
And he's so instinctive. I think you look at Aldon Smith is going to be up for it, certainly with a franchise record in San Francisco, but a situational pass rusher is what Aldon Smith is. Then you've got Von Miller, also plays most of the plays. And Ryan Kerrigan, I promise you, is right in the conversation.
Ryan Longwell to try a 36-yard field goal. 18 out of 22 so far this year. It's up, out, and good. The Vikings score first off the turnover. Washington's defense, led by Kerrigan, keeps Minnesota out of the end zone. Percy Harvard has come back out of the locker room, and expecting him to get back onto the field. One of the Viking game breakers on offense, and they'll need him. 3-0 off the fumble by Grossman as Longwell kicks off, and here is Banks into the end zone. Redskins will come out on offense with a 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Resurrecting Rex, how does he respond? It was a fumble by Grossman that set up the Viking field goal, but interceptions have been his nemesis as well.
Well, you see there, 1 every 21 throws. He's got 18 on the season, and I'm telling you, these next 2 games, a lot like last year. If you go back to last year, as he finished out the season as a starter, they'll be like the Super Bowls for Rex Grossman. And as he told us, Chris, on Friday, he wants to leave a lasting impression, and really, he wants the Redskins to want him at the end of these next 2 games.
And the pitch is to Evan Royster. Again, who got the start for Roy Halou. Redskins a little thin at running back. Yeah, Grossman at age 31, if he throws for 3 more yards, he'll have 10,000 in his career. A guy who led a team to a Super Bowl, but wants to stay in Washington. And who knows, there was talk, will he be the transition to the next quarterback for the Redskins, or might these last 2 games be a career? It's make or break pretty much for Rex Grossman.
Well, you look at backups around the league, and if it's not here, I promise you, he'll get a job somewhere.
On 2nd and 7, solid running by Royster. And Evan Royster, you think of all the great Penn State running backs in history through Franco Harris and Lydell Mitchell. He passed Kurt Warner, that's Kurt Warner with a C, his senior year to become the all-time Penn State leading rusher.
And this is just a zone play, and they're going to use the fullback to cut it off, just downhill for Evan Royster, and that's what they love about him, and that's a gaping hole. Minnesota will try like crazy to help protect their secondary to stop the run with 2 deep safeties.
Royster a receiver on 3rd and 2. Grossman's throw, he went deep, receiver stopped short. That was Royster. A miscommunication. It will be 4th down.
Yeah, I think he wanted Royster, and I'll give the benefit of the doubt to the veteran quarterback over the rookie running back. I think he wanted Royster to continue on a wheel route down the sideline and just take off and go, and Royster put the brakes on and ran an out route.
Sal Rocca, his first punt was good for 39. Sherrills, fair catch called for. Just beyond the 31-yard line. A good start for Christian Ponder and the Viking offense. This is Santa's big scene, and we'll have more in a moment.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Jennifer Warren from Kumsan Air Base, Republic of Korea. I just want to send my husband, James, and my son, Jeremy, Merry Christmas, and I love you guys. I'll be home real soon. Miss you.
And we appreciate your service. Tim and I wish all our servicemen and women around the world and their families a very Merry Christmas and happy, healthy New Year.
Ready? What?
On 1st down. Ponder's throw short. It's Peterson. And Adrian Peterson gets slipped up around the 41-yard line. And the official says he's down with the football near the 1st down marker. They've done a pretty good job on Peterson so far when he's tried to run the football. The Redskin defense,
well, they've gotten him in the backfield a couple of times.
And Harvard is back in, which is a plus for Christian Ponder and this Viking offense. And he steps back. I think he heard me talking about him. It's going to be second down short. That's probably why he stepped back out. Vikes want to get the first down as Peterson remains the back.
Down. Ready.
And we have a whistle. We may have a challenge on where the spot of the football was.
Washington is challenging the ruling on the field of down by contact.
They're going to see if this ball came out. I don't know why you challenge the spot at this point in the game for a yard or two.
Mike Shanahan thinks maybe his defense caused a fumble.
Yeah, you watch as Peterson puts the brakes on right here. Josh Wilson's going to hit him, then London Fletcher, and the ball caused that fumble. And he'll end up losing this challenge. See, because Gomes came down on it, and it was called down by contact right there by the line judge. You can see as Adrian Peterson's up in the air, that ball still has it.
He's down there.
And then the ground causes the fumble, which the ground cannot cause a fumble. Mike Shanahan standing right there decided he wanted to challenge it.
About a third of the calls this year, and that's about the way it's gone the last few years in the NFL, that have been challenged have been overturned. Tony Corrente, our referee today.
And I'll tell you this on Adrian Peterson, Chris, he's gotten much better with his ball secured. He really has.
Has not fumbled at all this year. We know he missed some games. And you got to give him credit for going out there and playing hard in a season with a 2-win team and a bad ankle.
A lot of people have wondered why is he even playing, and we asked him that question the other day. And how about this novelty? He loves the game of football. He has fun playing it.
He loves it,
which is refreshing to hear. And so he just wants to be out there and fight, and has a great passion to be out there with his teammates. I applaud him for that.
They look at this frame by frame, and even if the recovering player came up with the football for the Redskins, he looked like he was out of bounds.
Yeah, DeJuan Gomes was.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The runner was down by contact, had possession of the football, forearm hit the ground, and the ball came out. It will be second down and 1 to go. Washington will be charged with their first timeout.
And here, what I could think Mike Shanahan was thinking is maybe the ball was started to come loose there on his way down, and he never regained control. But clearly, he had it tucked in between the arm and the forearm, and the bicep came down on the ground, and the ground knocked it out.
You can see Gomes out of bounds anyway. So second and 1 with 5 minutes remaining in the quarter. 2 timeouts now for the Redskins.
Down. Ready. What?
Ponder keeps. And Christian Ponder with a first down all the way out to the 49-yard line of Minnesota. That's that athleticism he talks about.
Outstanding fake. Everybody takes the bait. There's the fake there, and then he just peels off to the backside. You watch Arakpo to the left, watch Bowen to the left, Josh Wilson, everybody seals down. Now Josh Wilson's got to spin out and go try to catch Ponder. It's a lot of the things you'll see him do throughout this game, getting out on the edge.
D'Angelo Hall was right there. Let's get a game break and check in with Kurt Menefee.
Jets and Giants, that Battle of New York you've heard a little bit about this week. Opening drive for the Jets. That's Mark Sanchez to Josh Baker, undrafted free agent out of Northwest Missouri State. He's given the Jets a 7-0 lead in the first quarter. Chris and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. Kurt will keep us updated on all the scores around the league. And at the end of the day, how the playoff picture stands with just one more regular season weekend to go. Inside handoff, Peterson, who almost broke it. Perry Riley on the stop.
Boy, Peterson's got such great vision, and there is just no dancing in the backfield. He is hitting this hole hard, and look at the little crease that he jumps through. He's going to get the lead block by D'Imperio, but watch as his vision, you'll see a little crease open up, and he'll just stomp on the gas pedal and cut right into it, right there. That's a big-time tackle by Perry Riley. Otherwise, that could have been a house call. 6 points for Adrian Peterson.
3rd and 6. Look at Percy Harvin lining up in the backfield. They give it to Harvin. He tried to bounce outside and is not going to get the first down. London Fletcher wouldn't let him go.
That guy is a freak of nature, London Fletcher, at 36 years old, Chris. You know, he's leading the NFL in tackles right now. He's the third guy ever over 30 years old to be able to accomplish that feat. I think Jesse Tuggle did it at 30 years old down in Atlanta, and Zach Thomas at 33 for the Miami Dolphins. You think of London Fletcher at 36 still doing his thing. It's remarkable.
First punt was 45 yards. Cluey for Brandon Banks. He says get away from it. And kicks inside the 10-yard line. And there's a flag out way back at the 45-yard line. It's been a defensive struggle so far. The one turnover, a Grossman fumble, led to the Longwell field goal.
Minnesota's offense is walking back out on the field thinking that this one's going against the Redskins.
Offside defense in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty will result in a first down.
They only needed 4 for a first down. So Mike Shanahan's going, what
a self-inflicted wound that is.
And given where the ball is in relation to the field, Minnesota would have a first down at the Washington 40 on that miscue. So Christian Ponder, the Viking offense.
Hey, space still. Mike 5-6. Swat. Down. Ready.
Ponder keeps. He's gone deep for Greg Camarillo. Incomplete. Ponder was one of the bright guys at Florida State. You know, the intelligence test, Tim, that Wonderlic test, he graded high there, but he earned his bachelor degree in 2.5 years, and then he went on and got his MBA, all while he was still playing college football.
Yeah, really, really smart. No question. That says it all. But I think he's a better athlete than Minnesota thought he was when they drafted him. I mean, the guy was a terrific athlete, multi-sport athlete growing up. He ran a triathlon when he was 9 years old.
That deserves a wow. Percy Harvin has it, runs into his own man, and gets a first down. Percy Harvin showed back at college as a Florida Gator when he played on a bad ankle in a championship game, that he could play hurt.
No, the thing about Harvin that you have to love is, as small as he is, he seeks out contact. He's such a physical player for his size. He's rarely going to run out of bounds. He'll put his head down and try to run over guys.
First and 10 now from the 30.
Down. What?
Ponder is going to have to run this time and then slide, and gets hit. After the slide, here comes the flag.
Yeah, and that's clearly Reed Dowdy. And you know how the rule reads. If the quarterback starts his slide before the defender launches himself in terms of trying to lay out and make the tackle, it's going to be a hit on a defenseless player. And he went helmet to helmet on Christian Ponder and blasted him.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 37, contact to the head of a sliding player. 15-yard penalty, recess half innocent field goal, automatic first down.
So 2 major penalties assisting this drive. This one on Dowdy and the offside on a 4th down punt that gave him the ball. Let's listen.
Almost simultaneous, but you definitely see the slide start before the tackling action started, and that's hard as a defender. I get it. If you're Reed Dowdy, you got to fly up there and try to take that guy out somehow, but clearly a penalty.
Adrian Peterson. It'll be second down. Christian Ponder is 6'2", 225 pounds. So he should be okay after getting that smack. And we said, according to
his nose is bleeding. Look.
Yeah, that was not a slight brush. Yeah, that was a tough hit. You got to be tough to play in the NFL, even at quarterback. Peterson at 2nd and 8 to the 10. It'll be 3rd down. So his run, Christian Ponder's run for more than 200 yards this season. We will see Toby Gerhardt at some point to spell Peterson, who wanted the ball more last week when he wasn't 100%. Got 10 carries. Third down and 6 from the 10.
Down. 20. What?
Christian Ponder completes to Percy Harvin, and he is near the goal line. That's a first down.
Now Reed Doughty kept him out of the end zone, but he absolutely picked up the first down. And watch everybody here to the right side. The two tight ends, heavy sets. They're going to run a crossing route one way, clear out the defenders. Percy Harvin underneath in a shallow cross. And I'm locked up on Josh Wilson. Reed Doughty kept him out of the end zone.
Seconds remain in the quarter. Adrian Peterson. No. What a hit by London Fletcher. It'll be second and goal.
Listen to London right here. Watch Fletcher just come hit Adrian Peterson right in the mouth. Bang.
What a way to end the first quarter. A defensive struggle, but the Vikings with the lead are threatening. On second and goal, 13 red zone touchdowns. Troy Guion is in to help on offense, a defensive lineman. And touchdown, Adrian Peterson. That's 14 rushing red zone touchdowns for the Vikings and 12 touchdowns on the ground for Adrian Peterson this year.
Well, the Redskins got penetration up front, and Adrian Peterson's going to follow the fullback Guion, and they just slice right through there. Because watch the red jerseys as they get some decent penetration right there, but he just runs through the arm tackle of Rocky McIntosh.
And the extra point is good. An extra beef of 300+ pounds and 6'4". But Peterson knows where to go, and he gets the football.
That's number 12 on the year for him, too, in terms of the touchdowns. And it's a good block by John Sullivan as well, the center who's anchored that line. He does a good job there on Barry Cofield, getting Cofield spun around.
On the 13th play of the drive, and again, penalties assisting, and some tough running from quarterback Christian Ponder before Peterson punches it in, and it's 10-0, the visiting Vikings over the Redskins, who are coming off a big win over the Giants.
And Adrian Peterson is just too powerful, Chris. That's why he's certainly notably one of the best in the business, if not the best. If you don't get your head and body in front of him and you try to tackle him with your arms, he's just going to cut right through you.
And the medical staff checking the hand of Christian Ponder. That's obviously his left hand, not his throwing hand. But he's done more on the ground, running 3 different times. He's thrown for 4 out of 8. And kicking off is Longwell, as Grossman will get a chance to rally the Redskins. This is a dribbler, and it goes out of bounds. Excellent field position now as Longwell shakes his head.
Yeah, that's a big-time error there.
Kickoff out of bounds. By rule, ball will be placed 30 yards from the spot of the kick. First down.
Tim, we mentioned the medical staff of the Vikings. Want to send out our holiday greetings to Fred Zamberletti, the iconic trainer of the Vikings, who until today had not missed any Viking games in the 51-year history of the franchise. That's a streak of 1,049 games going back to 1961. We hope that Fred gets well fast and has a happy holiday.
Thinking about you, Fred.
But the Redskins thinking about erasing a 10-0 deficit. Grossman's pass, nice catch, held on to. Gaffney for a first down across midfield. And Gaffney, one of the pluses, having a career year, the old Florida Gator teammate of Grossman.
I love it because he's just going to run the slant route. As you see here, it's marked up on Benny Sapp. He's going to cut it inside. Sapp's got good coverage, but the throw is better down low into the inside for Jabbar Gaffney. The word to describe him, Chris, is savvy. I mean, he just understands how to break down defenses.
And Evan Royster carries. Rex Grossman called him smooth. His 59th catch of the year, Gaffney. And closing in, a goal of his was to get to 1,000 yards. I wonder if Evan Royster, when he was drafted in the 6th round out of Penn State, thought he'd be starting the 15th game of the year for Washington. From just outside the 47-yard line of Minnesota. 2nd down, 7. Royster, 1st down and all the way to the 35.
Tell you, I love this personnel grouping. You don't see a lot of it. You've got 2 backs and 3 wide receivers spread out. They're going to end up bringing some pressure off the side, but it's a pump draw. So Rex just pumps it out to the side and then turns and hands it off to Evan Royster. Gets some good blocking from the wide receivers. I love the 2 running backs, 3 wide look because it spreads the defense out. When you keep your fullback on the field, you're going to open up some running lanes. It was a well-called play and better executed.
Royster got 11. Brian Terrain is in, and he carries. A little bit of a different back at 6'1" and 220.
And again, that same personnel grouping. 2 running backs, fullback, tailback, and no tight ends. And I think Niles Paul is a big part of that because this cat's listed as a wide receiver, but goes close to 230 pounds. And running in the 4.4s in terms of the 40-yard dash. I guess they classify him as a tweener, but certainly more wide receiver than tight end, and gives him the flexibility, Chris, with that personnel grouping.
Grossman keeps as a flag, so the play is whistled dead. Run away against the Redskins. Already 2 costly penalties, and this will push him back.
False start on the center. 5-yard penalty remains. 2nd down.
A call against Will Montgomery, who last week in the victory over the Giants got a lot of credit from the Redskins coaching staff for keeping the line together when they had 2 rookies on the left side and a guy pretty much off the street starting on the right side, and they held up against that Giant pass rush. But now a miscue on a penalty, and it's 2nd and 12, so look out for Jared Allen.
Ready! Ready!
Grossman protected, goes underneath to Darrell Young, and the fullback gets a 1st down inside the 24-yard line of Minnesota. Darrell Young had a big rushing touchdown last week.
He's become much more of an impact player since they've lost Chris Cooley and in particular Fred Davis to the suspension. Cooley with an injury, so you've seen a lot more of the fullback on the field. All day for Rex Grossman to throw there, and zones just broke down, and they're going to when you play a lot of zone defense. If you can't get that pressure with 4, quarterback's going to be able to hit some balls underneath.
Grossman again to Darrell Young, who stays up, fighting hard inside the 5. Henderson eventually made the stop, younger brother of E.J. Henderson.
There's the fullback there, and he's just going to go out to the flat. And Aaron Henderson caught looking in the backfield, number 50. He's got the hook area, and then he's got to sift out to the flat. Darrell Young gets out there and then breaks the tackle by Benny Sack.
Henderson from Aberdeen, Maryland, about 15 minutes from here. Young with 2 big catches.
Ready! Ready!
Grossman, end zone. Yeah, touchdown Redskins. Dante Stallworth. There's an injured Viking. The official
penetrated the goal line. Touchdown.
The official's arms went up right away, and Mistrail Raymond is the injured Viking.
Nice route, better throw. They've got 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 down to the right. Great location, and then an adjustment by Dante Stallworth in year number 9, still getting it done. Here's the route. There's the safety that's going to come up and hit him. And then watch him spin right back into the void and punch it across the goal line.
So Rex Grossman responds with a touchdown to Stallworth.
Today's game is sponsored by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. by the Droid Razor. Thin is no longer frail, only at Verizon. And by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
The ruling on the field was confirmed. Touchdown.
Automatic review all scoring plays. You know that by now this year. First year the league has instituted that. It's actually reduced the number of challenges on scoring plays, obviously, as the extra point by Graham Gano gets the Redskins to within 3. The 5-yard touchdown pass. Grossman, the stalwart, capped a drive of 60 yards, 7 plays, and Minnesota leads by 3. To the kick. And the number 2 kick coverage team in the NFL, the Redskins, ready to boot it. That's Graham Gano, and Marcus Sherrill's back deep.
Here's where they'll miss Percy Harvin. As electric of a returner as he is, to not have him back there. They're trying to preserve him after getting nicked up early in the game.
They may have heard you talking about running him into the Redskin defense. It'll be Sherrills. He gets up across the 23-yard line. Viking offense on first down. Along with Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, we have Jamie Maggio down on the field. Ho, 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 you can play that
Yeah,
part.
right back at you, bro.
Merry Christmas
here.
A little bit early. Thanks for spending Christmas Eve with the NFL on Fox. And how about the Viking? You know, Vicente Shenko was heard on a radio show, and we're paraphrasing, saying last week some guys, a handful, didn't fight it out to the end, maybe didn't play the kind of ball they should. Leslie Frazier said, we addressed the issue.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure I saw that watching the tape. Now, he'd know better than me, being a player down on the field, but I certainly haven't seen any of that here today. These guys have played hard, they've played inspired, and they've gotten after it. And here they got a nice little wrinkle with Joe Webb coming in and playing quarterback.
And Joe Webb, who can throw it, run it, and lines up as a receiver just to mix up that Redskin defense as he options to the right.
And that's mostly what he does. They're going to be option principles. He does a nice read right there on the corner. Josh Wilson, who's playing the pitch man. Safety, Ashimako Otagwe can't get there soon enough. And now he's going to go line up at wide receiver. So they call that the Blazer package for him coming out of University of Alabama, Birmingham. Joe Webb.
And Adrian Peterson with a pitch. Some tough running. London Fletcher makes the stop. Let's get a game break and check in again with Kurt Menefee.
Well, the New England Patriots have a chance to wrap up that #1 seed, but they got to play better than they're doing today against the Dolphins. Brandon Marshall with a 19-yard touchdown reception from Matt Moore in Miami, who has really looked good of late, has a 10-0 lead on the road at New England. Chris and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. Talk about the Vikings playing hard late in the season. The Dolphins have done that even after the coaching change. Pass complete. That's Kyle Rudolph. Rudolph with his first grab of the game. You're going to leave that hat on all day or no?
Now keep the ears warm a little bit. That's a good read by Ponder. He reads the blitz coming up inside. He knows he's got man coverage, Chris, out on the edge. Ryan Kerrigan, the outside linebacker on Kyle Rudolph, and just unloads the football before London Fletcher, who's blitzing up on the inside, could get to him. Nice job.
Ponder on first down. Open and completes to Devin Aromashadir. Looks like the ball came out, but the catch was made. And that's a first down grab as Reed Downey was back there. You talked about Christian Ponder's confidence shaken a little bit against New Orleans last week. He looks good.
He is, and he gets to his second read here. Watches, he looks one way, and then understanding that it's cover 3, which is 3 deep. You got a safety in the middle. He looks left. Now he knows he's got his guy out to the right because the corner's playing off. Worried about covering that deep third of the field is D'Angelo Hall. Makes an accurate throw on his second read. Impressive.
And told me Drew Brees, the guy he admires most, looked a little like him there, the way he went through the progressions. As Peterson carries, Adrian Peterson spinning. He just won't go down. All the way to the 16. There's a flag down back of the Viking backfield.
Outstanding call because they caught him right away from the blitz.
Holding, offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
The call on Phil Lodeholt negates a 20-yard run.
Yeah, and here's the big right tackle right there. They're bringing pressure. The ball ends up going here, but this is the hold. Load hold on Stephen Bowen. He's going to wrap him up as Bowen's trying to disengage. And that hurts. take away that big pop from Adrian Peterson.
Peterson came in needing 68 yards for another 1,000-yard season. That's all he's known since he's come into the league. But that erases a big game. And out of field goal range. Ponder, he'll run again and slide and hang on to the football. 7.5 minutes to go before the half. Checking some of the numbers up to where we are right now.
And the Redskins, who have certainly been committed over the last several weeks to running the ball, they're off to an okay start. Pretty even game when you really break down those numbers. The one turnover being the difference, as Brian Robinson got the sack, the defensive end, knocked the ball out and recovered the fumble, and Minnesota capitalized with a field goal.
Harvin lines up as a running back on 2nd and 17. They fake to him, and Ponder throws low in that direction, just beyond the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd down for Minnesota. Leslie Frazier said this is not a rebuilding year after the interim tag removed, the full-time head coach here. And injuries part of it, miscommunication, but really disappointed with the record just 2 weeks.
And he should be. And I think that he thought Donovan McNabb was going to be much better than Donovan was. And I think Mike Shanahan thought the same thing last year. They both bit the McNabb apple and both got bit with not very good quarterback play.
That's why Ponder's the starter on 3rd and 15. Throws high, but a nice catch, and he came down with it. Greg Camarillo. Right near the 1st down marker.
Unbelievable job hanging on. This is a good throw from Ponder on the run. And Camarillo is just going to get upended by Otagwe. Certainly hung on to that football all the way through the process. Looks like he's going to be just short of the 1st down.
And the Vikings look like they're going for it. After a 14-yard gain, it'll be 4th and a yard.
I've been impressed with Christian Ponder, making throws off the run, making plays with his legs. Leslie Frazier's got to be satisfied up to this point with his rookie quarterback.
Vikings are going to use a timeout and discuss the situation. 2 timeouts for each team here with the Redskins and Vikings.
Today's game is sponsored by UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you.
On 4th and 1, right guard Anthony Herrera with a lower back injury. So rookie Brandon Fusco is in from Slippery Rock.
Adrian Peterson moved.
Yeah, there's a flag right there, and that'll change things.
False start.
Try will be about 48 yards, and here comes Longwell.
Yeah, and there's AP right there. Adrian Peterson just gets a little bit ahead of himself here as the weight starts to lean forward. Easy call for Tony Corrente.
It'll be officially a 49-yard try. Longwell is 1 for 1 today. His season-long 53 yards to try and give the Vikings a 6-point advantage. It'll stay as a 3-point difference. A Peterson stumble, a Longwell miss. And the Redskins, trailing now 10-7, will get an opportunity on offense. Rex Grossman from the 39 of Washington. He was 4 out of 4 on the last drive, producing a Washington touchdown after an earlier fumble. Set up a Minnesota field goal. So a nice bounce back for Rex. For Evan Royster, who gets up to the 45-yard line. And during the last break, London Fletcher, the ageless wonder who plays and apparently coaches.
Awesome. Yeah, he'll tell anybody who listens. Hey, come here, Chris. Get down here. Come here. Look at this. Look at what they did. And love those Polaroids, the pictures that come down and a picture snap right before the snap, and then right as the quarterback gets ready to release the ball. So you get 2 shots of every play. He leads the front 7. He's the quarterback of that front 7 on defense. And Jim Haslett has said it more than once, a defensive coordinator. He said London is the best football player he's ever been around.
Royster carries and gets a first down. And there's a penalty marker down as well. He got all the way to the 45 of Minnesota.
And they're wearing him out with that personnel grouping. 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers. You only got 6 guys playing in the box, and it's that same pump draw. Rex pumps it out one way, turns and hands it. Nice cut there by Evan Royster.
And the penalty was against Minnesota and was declined. The offside call. So a fresh set of downs. I'm impressed with Royster. I know Mike Shanahan said he's a guy we want to get a look at. Some talked about a gliding kind of slashing motion as a runner, but he's been tough.
Whatever it is, it's working.
Ryan Terrain checks in and gets the pitch on first down. Hit hard by Chad Greenway, the Vikings' leading tackler, has been probably, along with Jared Allen, their most steady defensive player.
No, he is a stud, and he will rock you. This is a little pitch, a little toss stretch that gets cut right inside. Wow. Chad Greenway will come up and hit you. I believe on a career high in tackles this year for what he's been able to do.
On second down 6, that Viking secondary has held up rather well so far.
Time for Santana Moss to get going.
And Grossman is going to go down. And Jared Allen in on the sack. He'll move a little closer to the team record.
Well, they come with a pressure. It's coming right here, and then Jared's just going to take Willie Smith to the inside. Look at him use his hands and just basically swat him to the side, and there's not many better at finishing than Jared Allen. He's got such quick hips that once he gets on your edge and gets to the edge of the offensive lineman, he's just going to run right by you and finish on the quarterback.
18.5 for the year. 4 wide receivers for Grossman, and there's Stallworth, who has a first down. Jared Allen was in on Grossman again.
And that's that cover 2 zone where you got 2 deep safeties and the middle linebackers playing extra deep. Stallworth just runs a crosser right in front of it. Here's the crossing route right in front of the drop. And Rex Grossman, a couple of nice throws in this game, Chris, when he's been under pressure.
And quarterback hurries. Jared Allen came in with 34, among the best in the NFL this year.
Well, they better start giving Willie Smith some help out there to the side, or it'll end up being another huge day for Jared Allen.
After a gain of 19. A little screen for Ryan Terrain. Not a lot of help out there as he fights hard to get down to the 31 as Chad Greenway was back there. So 18.5. The record for the Vikings is 21 on the all-time sack list. Chris Dolman set that mark. And this year, Jason Babin came in leading the NFL.
And it's funny, he mentioned Jason Babin the other day because that guy's taken off the last 2 weeks. He says, Jared says, I'm aware of the record. I know what it means, and to use a hunting vernacular, he would love to put that pelt on his wall.
And Babin, you'll see the Eagles and Cowboys later on Fox at America's Game of the Week. We're at the 2-minute warning. Minnesota by 3. On Christmas Eve here, second down 8 for the Redskins. Moving in as Ryan Terrain splits out to the right. Pass down the middle of the field. Terrence Austin inside the 10. First and goal, Redskins. Well thrown ball by Grossman.
Timed up perfectly, and he just runs right by the slot defender. Here's Marcus Sherrills. He's just going to find this zone right here behind the nickel corner in front of the safety, and then a nice little clever move bouncing him back to the inside after the reception. The timing of that was perfect from quarterback to receiver.
The rookie from Penn State carries, and Evan Royster goes down with a little gain. 2 timeouts remaining, and one of them will be used here. Minnesota taking the timeout, so the Vikings will have 1 remaining. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee back in Los Angeles.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, we'll have scores and highlights from a busy Christmas Eve in the NFL. 10 games going on right now, including the Patriots still fighting for home field in the playoffs. And Tim Tebow plays his coldest game ever That's all coming up when you join Maestro and me and them on the Visa Halftime.
Is he really doing it, or is he faking that?
That's his Milli Vanilli there.
Oh, okay.
As long as Terry's not singing. They sounded good.
I get you.
All right, you got me. And a happy holidays
So he's faking it.
from Tim Ryan and Chris Myers. You got it. On 2nd and goal.
Watch Moss here out of the slot.
Grossman's pass is incomplete. 9 out of 15 now.
He had no chance. Jamarcus Sanford, they brought the pressure right in his face.
Rex has gone to 7 different receivers and now 3rd and goal. And there is Kyle Shanahan, born in Minneapolis, as we mentioned, the offensive coordinator, who was under some heat. And then in the New England game and then last week, people backed off a little and said, you're calling a pretty good game.
Well, and it's going to be interesting to see what he dials up here, because watching the previous games, Minnesota, as much zone as they play, they do like to play man coverage down in this area of the field.
3 wide receivers, Dante Stallworth out to the right. He had the touchdown catch a moment ago. Looks like Washington's going to have to use a timeout.
Washington.
So they'll have one remain. See the little Christmas bulbs up there we have lit up? Those are representing the timeouts. Very festive. On Friday, January 6th, one of the most anticipated bowl games of the year. Kansas State, 8th ranked against Arkansas, 6th ranked. It's a Big 12 SEC showdown. And Fox's exclusive coverage of the Cotton Bowl Classic is live from Cowboys Stadium at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. That's January 6th on Fox. And this is a BCS-worthy game with 2 of the best teams in the country going head-to-head in the final big game before the championship. That's always a great scene, the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, one of the traditional games. I mean, that game's been around for so long with all the new bowls. That one's always one to keep your eye on.
So 3rd and goal, trailing by 3. Now Jabbar Gaffney is on the right, Stallworth on the left.
He's got Gaffney at the top.
He's looking left, throwing high and incomplete. Santana Moss was not even in the end zone. There are no flags. And it'll be 4th down. Rex talking to the official as if Washington deserved one.
Well, E.J. Henderson was right on the back of Santana Moss, but that ball was thrown high. That was not good ball location. As Rex Grossman tried to squeeze it in there to Santana Moss.
A minute 7 to go and a 26-yard field goal try for Graham Gano, who is 26 out of 35. He's had 4 blocks this year. That's the most in the NFL. Kick hold, and he slips it through. And we are tied at 10. Coming up at the half here in Washington's home park, Richie Pettibone will be inducted into the Redskins Ring of Fame, part of all 5 Redskins Super Bowls, either as a player or a coach. He was a safety. And a 14-year career, 4 Pro Bowls, defensive coach, defensive coordinator. He was a head coach with the Redskins for 1 year, worked with Joe Gibbs. Well respected, and Richie Pettibone enshrined in the Redskins Ring of Fame today.
Yeah, a lifer. And Darryl Green, the Hall of Famer, the corner, said Richie Pettibone, and it was the best defensive coach that he ever had. First question I had to ask myself was, how hard was it to coach Darryl Green? You see that receiver, go line up on him. Don't let him catch it.
A Hall of Famer,
coach.
Who played a long time. Hey, holiday greetings from the Redskins broadcast booth. Larry David, Sonny Jurgensen, Doc Walker, and also on the Vikings side, the voice of the Vikings, Paul Allen, with Pete Bursich and Greg Coleman, working on Christmas Eve to bring you the best from their teams. And a Merry Christmas early from us and our entire crew. Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, Larry Michael. Did I say Larry David? Sorry, I was thinking of the funny guy. That's Larry Michael.
You thinking of a funny guy?
And the Redskins in a tie game with Percy Harvin back to receive Graham Gano's kick. Harvin has run one back for a touchdown this year. Nice out across the 20-yard line. Pushing and shoving. Vikings, Redskins. Somebody wants this win today. Looks like Reed Downey was down at the bottom of that pile. 57 seconds remain, and each team with a timeout. And a lot of football to play.
Yeah, I don't think Lorenzo Alexander, a great special teamer, is really happy with Kenny Anatolo holding him. He's just not going to have it. That's the O-lineman slash D-lineman slash linebacker mentality. And Lorenzo Alexander, he's played everything for these Redskins.
Where's the holiday cheer? Adrian Peterson. First down, Vikings.
What a cut.
And they're going to use their, well, we have a penalty flag, so there may not be a timeout called by either team. Peterson with only 23 yards rushing, but he does have the touchdown run. Adrian needs 45 yards for a 1,000-yard season.
At the conclusion of the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 63. 15-yard penalty will result in a 1st and 10.
Right, that hurts because that's the second good run by Adrian Peterson that has been nullified by an offensive infraction. You'll see Fusco come rolling in here 63 and hit Perry Riley in the back. And they're just not going to allow cheap shots in pro football, period. And there was really no reason for the rookie to do that. I'm interested to see, as we go into half here, how Minnesota responds in the third quarter, where they have been awful. They've been a good first half team. Something happens to them at halftime, though, where they come out in the third quarter and just get dismantled.
Toby Gerhardt gets the carry, and the Vikings content, it would appear, to run out the clock here in the first half. Minnesota 1-8 in games decided by 7 points or fewer. And yes, they have had halftime leads, even fourth quarter leads in games, but 2-12 tells you they haven't been able to hang on much in the second half.
Well, people have been able to come from double digits on them in the second half, and really, I think you can put your crosshairs right on that third quarter. And Leslie Frazier's team comes out, and they just get slammed in terms of how many points teams score on them and how many points they score offensively.
Gerhardt again. And that will end the first half. Vikings score first. The Redskins battle back. And we are tied at 10. Tim Ryan and Chris Myers enjoy the Visa halftime. So let's head to Los Angeles. And the Visa halftime report with Kurt Menefee. Getting ready to start the third quarter, and the Vikings will receive the football. We are tied at 10. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. And again, an early Merry Christmas on this Christmas Eve. Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, and best to you. Hey, you mentioned the third quarter issues with the Vikings the second half. Here they're in a tie game. What can we expect when they come out with the football?
Well, they're going to have a chance because they get the ball here right away. They've run the ball pretty good with Adrian Peterson. There have just been two big ones that have been called back with penalties on the offensive line. And then Christian Ponder hasn't been sacked in this game. And part of that is because he's been able to run around and use his legs. But coming into this game, they've been sacked 45 times. So far, so good for their offense in Minnesota.
And the kickoff underway with Percy Harvin returning for Minnesota. And here comes a flag as he goes out to the 25-yard line. Percy Harvin, who was shaken up on a running play early, went to the locker room and came back out.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 36. 10-yard penalty, first out.
Brandon Burton, the call. That'll back up the Vikings. Let's check in now on the field with Jamie Maggio. Jamie?
Chris, thanks so much. I spoke with Leslie Frazier. He said defensively they need to take care of third and long. They're looking to force some turnovers. Speaking with Mike Shanahan, he gave Christian Ponder a little bit of credit. He says, man, that kid's athletic. He's using his legs too much. They're going to want to keep him in the pocket, so we'll see what Shanahan's defense can do here.
Thanks, guys. All right, Jamie. Anthony Herrera is back in at right guard. Ready? He was out injured in the second quarter. And here goes Adrian Peterson. Good ankle tackle. Checking the statistics here as Peterson is slow to get up, and in the first half, boy, that is a painful Peterson.
Yeah, that doesn't look good with his left leg. Dwan Gomes just came flying in there.
The touchdown run from short yardage in the first half.
Oh, that's ugly. That's ugly. DeJuan Gomes just put his shoulder pad right through the left knee of Adrian Peterson, and you can see he's in agony.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the Lexus December to Remember sales event for a limited time at your Lexus dealer. By CBW, people who get it. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Fans just cheered loudly as Adrian Peterson was somehow able to get to his feet. A lower left leg injury as London Fletcher comes over. A number of Redskin players appreciating.
Oh, it's a brotherhood, and you feel absolutely poor for Adrian Peterson.
The tough run. Came in with a right ankle that had been bothering him, not 100%, but wanted to play. And a DeJuan Gomes tough ankle tackle. If you look at this, it's tough to look at. If you can handle, you may want to glance away, but you can see the parts of the human body not made for this.
You see Gomes just came flying in there, and traditionally, as safeties and linebackers and everybody on the field does, to come in and make a tackle and tackle Adrian Peterson down low on the legs, and just caught Adrian Peterson with his left foot planted in the ground, locked out, and the helmet and the shoulder pad went right through the outside of his knee.
970 yards rushing this season.
Hate seeing that.
And he has had 1,000 yards or more in every season he's been in the league, and this will no doubt keep him from that mark. Our thoughts are with Adrian Peterson. Toby Gerhardt in at running back on 2nd down 7. And Ponder eventually goes down. Barry Cofield, the nose tackle, made it happen.
And he wasn't letting him go. Barry Cofield comes over the top. Here's Cofield, and watch him catapult over the offensive lineman, John Sullivan, and reach over and grab Ponder by the jersey and then not let him go. See, he's got a hold of him, and then Adam Carricker and other guys, London Fletcher, come in and finish the job, but that was all Barry Cofield.
So now facing a 3rd down. The Redskin defense gets his 38th sack of the season.
Tell you what, Ponder is tough, because that was another vicious shot right in his face.
And they were in his face again. 4th down. Chris Cluey will come on to punt. Without Adrian Peterson, Tim, you talked about third quarter struggles. It'll make it much more difficult for Minnesota in a tie game. Brandon Banks back to return. He'll have a chance. He will go down. Inside the 38-yard line of Minnesota. Brandon Banks' nifty return of 16 yards. The Vikings without Adrian Peterson. The Redskins without Roy Halou. We're tied at 10. Christian Ponder is headed to the locker room injured after Adrian Peterson went out.
Yeah, costly drive for Minnesota, and it's this hit from London Fletcher. Just square up on Christian Ponder as he was trying to escape the sack from Barry Cofield that has sent him to the locker room, and Adrian Peterson has since got on the cart and also headed for the locker room.
Evan Royster, the rookie from Penn State, slashing down inside the 30. 48 yards rushing at the half. And Adrian Peterson with that lower left leg knee injury, he walked off the field with help and now being carted to the locker room, where he'll no doubt see Christian Ponder.
He's in shock. I mean, I was watching him on the sidelines and read his lips, and 3 times it was wow to himself. Just can't believe what went down with that left knee.
2nd down 1.
They're just killing him with this personnel grouping.
And that's a 1st down as Royster gets the Redskins closer
And Chris, they call it 20 personnel around the league for NFL vernacular. And it's 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, no tight ends. And really, they're blocking a 6-man box. So they got 6 blockers on 6 defenders. Evan Royster is going to get to the line of scrimmage before he ever gets touched. And they have been wearing Minnesota out with that personnel grouping. And it's really a good call by Mike Shanahan and Kyle Shanahan, the offensive coordinator, knowing where to hit the Minnesota Vikings. They run the ball well on them.
Evan Royster on 1st and 10 inside the 25. Christian Ponder with a concussion is out for the remainder of this game. Steve Hutchinson didn't start in this game because he didn't pass the concussion test. So with Ponder out, Joe Webb, who comes in anyway on special packages, is likely to step forward. Sage Rosenfeld's back in Minnesota, active as the 3rd string quarterback. 2nd down 7. Pressure coming. Grossman goes down all the way back in the 40. Kevin Williams. 3rd sack of the game for the Vikings.
Yeah, and Kevin Williams just goes right by Chris Chester. Here's the big D tackle. Chester, the right guard's got to block him. Kevin Williams just swats the hands down, is able to roll the hips past him. It's only his 4th sack of the year. Not a great year for Kevin Williams. They're behind in a lot of games, so they're playing a lot of run, but that's what that guy's capable of doing, and that's why he's been to 6 Pro Bowls. When he's on his game, he can run right by the best guards in pro football.
So now 3rd and 17 following Williams' 4th sack of the season. Ryan Terrain is in on the fringe of a field goal as Grossman goes down the middle, and it's tipped away at the last moment by Everson Griffin, the 4th round pick from Southern Cal, who's done a good job in his 2nd year wherever they use him. Defensive line dropping into coverage.
Well, they drop him that time, and it confused the quarterback, Rex Grossman. Everson Griffin is out here, and he's just going to drop in coverage and then sift in front of the in cut. He knows right away. That's just a great job of him, number 1, hitting the receiver and rerouting him and screwing the timing up, and then just getting in the throwing lane and almost gets himself an interception. Rex Grossman had no idea he was going to be there.
From 53 yards, Gano will try and break the tie. The kick, it is good. His 4th 50-yard plus field goal of the season, and that ties the Redskin record for most 50-plus field goals in a season with Mark Mosley and John Hall. Lorenzo Alexander, part of the special teams, having a terrific, maybe a Pro Bowl year for him as Marcus Sherrills takes the kickoff. Gets across the 25-yard line. Yeah. 10.5 to go here in the 3rd, and Alexander right on cue.
Always is. Special teams player of the year here for the Redskins over the last couple. And this guy's really an amazing story. Came here, played offensive line for Joe Gibbs. Then they moved him to defensive tackle. Now he's playing outside linebacker, and he's really a special teams demon and deserves to be in Honolulu.
So Joe Webb comes in at quarterback with Toby Gerhart, the backup running back, backup quarterback, although Webb started last year for Leslie Frazier and has been used quite a bit here. Hands off to Gerhart, who has room. Toby Gerhart, look out! Ball's out. Went out of bounds. Gerhart came in averaging 4.3 yards a carry.
They never touched him. Stephen Bowen gets caught on an inside gap charge, and it's just downhill for Toby Gerhart. Very nice run by Joe Berger, and now it's off to the races for Gerhart. Josh Wilson's going to pop this out from behind. Goes out of bounds right there as D'Angelo Hall tried to punch it back in. Never touched until all the way down out inside the 10-yard line.
And Lorenzo Booker checks in and gets the carry, and he's knocked down right at the 10-yard line. Longest run of the season for Gerhart, 67 yards. And then London Fletcher put the stone wall up on Booker on 1st and goal. So now it's 2nd and goal. Washington with a third quarter field goal to take the lead. Vikings trying to respond without Peterson, without Ponder.
Watch Joe Webb on the option stuff down here.
And there he goes. Joe Webb with a Viking touchdown. And the Vikings take a third quarter lead.
Well, he is a dynamic runner. Webb, 1,400 yards rushing his senior year at Alabama Birmingham. And he fakes the pitch right there. Good blocking by Visante Shanko, and he runs right inside Reed Doughty. Reed Doughty's got to be the guy to make that tackle. But Joe Webb is a dynamic runner.
His second touchdown run this year as the extra point goes through, and his fourth rushing touchdown in this his second year.
And caught the Redskins stunting again. That time it was Ryan Kerrigan, who's usually the edge setter. They got him stunting down inside. 2 big plays in that drive. Both caught the Redskins with run stunts.
And the Vikings kicking off after taking a 17-13 lead to Brandon Banks. Banks down the sideline all the way to the Vikings side of the field. He has yet to run one back for a touchdown this year, but a nifty return to set Washington up nicely.
He's going to bust it up inside, and then he is just going to get to the outside, get some nice blocks out there on the edge, especially Perry Riley, who seals it up for him, and all 155 pounds of Brandon Banks. He's got a lot of heat as he turns it down the sidelines in terms of his speed.
A 43-yard return. What a third quarter. Graham Gano, a 53-yard field goal. Then Adrian Peterson is injured to the locker room. Christian Ponder to the locker room. Career-long run for Toby Gerhart, and the Vikings' longest run of the season. We still have 9 minutes plus to go. And Evan Royster carries. Excellent defense there. It'll be second down. Kevin Williams in on the tackle. And there is Toby Gerhart.
Well, and has actually played well. I mean, that long run, he's also been a good receiver. And as good as he is, he looks like he should be out of the Partridge Family, doesn't he? Look at him. I hate to show my age, but
that's a load up the bus. People, they're humming the song as we speak. And Joe Webb producing the touchdown on the ground.
I like the hairdo.
And that was the Vikings' longest run of this season.
He's been a good receiver as well. 3 touchdowns in the air over the last few games.
Grossman floats it incomplete for Darrell Young. And it will be third down. There was pressure on Rex. A Minnesota pass rush has done a good job today. 3 sacks for the Vikings. Jared Allen with one of those.
Well, and they've been sending more pressure, I think, in terms of sending an extra guy on the blitz than Rex anticipated. We talked to Rex Grossman on Thursday, and he said they play more of that cover 2 shell, which is 2 deep safety zone coverage, than anybody I've ever played against. They have turned up the heat today in terms of sending the extra guy in pressure and played a little more man coverage on the back end.
4 wide receivers. Grossman throws and completes. That's Jabbar Gaffney at the 21-yard line.
Well, that time it was cover 2. Gaffney comes in motion, and then he hits him right in that cover 2 hole that you look for inside the numbers, in between the corner and the safety, and well placed from Rex Grossman. Again, just the savviness, though, of Jabbar Gaffney in year number 10, knowing how to read coverage, knowing where to go, and knowing where those coverage beaters are based on the zone coverage that he sees.
A 20-yard gain, and then Royster carries. The Viking secondary still does not have an interception. 9 straight games coming in. They have yet to intercept Grossman, although they did recover an early fumble on Rex that led to a field goal.
Well, that's the area that they're going to have to really address this offseason. There's no question about it. Losing Antoine Winfield, obviously hurt, but he's old and he's injured, so they're going to have to eventually replace him.
And Chris Cook, who has his
indiscretions, his issues.
His hearing coming up in October.
Safety has been a problem for the last couple of years. They're definitely going to have to address the secondary.
On 2nd and 5, they're throwing that way. The pass is caught, and Gaffney spins near a first down with Benny Sapp right on him.
And that's just option. That's just reading the coverage by Jabbar Gaffney, who could do that in his sleep. He reads the off coverage by Benny Sapp and breaks it underneath at the under route. And again, Rex with the quick fast pass places it perfectly.
And it's a first down just beyond the 10-yard line. We thought we'd see more of Cedric Griffin, who got on the wrong side of Leslie Frazier in that Vikings secondary in this game. And he's out there now. Watch for number 23.
He's out here on Gaffney right there.
Gaffney down at the 5. It'll be second down. They can get a first down before the end zone.
Again, just an adjustment, the same as we saw on the route right before. It's off coverage, so there's a nice big cushion, and he's just going to run the under route, the slant route right in front of it, and take 5 or 6 yards. That's an easy read for the quarterback, reading where that corner is. He and Gaffney on the same page.
From the 5-yard line. Grossman hesitates. End zone high for Gaffney. A one-handed touchdown, Redskins.
I can't tell you how good that is by the quarterback. Rex wants the quick slant. It's not there. He reloads, looks to the left, and then throws it to where only Gaffney can get it. An outstanding catch. Gaffney pulling it down with one hand, but that was really something special by Rex Grossman.
The adventurous, eventful third quarter continues. Gano, extra point. Redskins by 3.
That is just quick processing from the quarterback and really an illustration of him showing ownership in this offense. Looks right, looks left, back to the right, delivers a strike.
After Brandon Banks' electrifying kickoff return, Rex Grossman threw a 4-yard touchdown pass to Jabbar Gaffney, and the Redskins moved back out in front, 20-17. Sherrills on the return for the Vikings. Nifty run up the sideline. Another good return by Marcus Sherrills. This January, Fox is back in the octagon with an incredible UFC Fight Night triple-header. Some of the best fighters battling for a shot at the title. Former light heavyweight champ Rashad Evans, undefeated Phil Davis, plus 2 explosive middleweight bouts. The UFC Fight Night, a Fox triple-header live from Chicago. Saturday, January 28th, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. We're glad you're watching on Fox.
Let's press. Yeah, that.
Toby Gerhart. He still won't go down. Out to the 35-yard line. And Adrian Peterson, who went out injured, along with Christian Ponder, that concussion. The NFL this weekend, we have Bob Moore here, a certified athletic trainer that's up in the replay booth, an extra observer, to call to trainers down on the sidelines if someone suffers a concussion, just to make sure they're checked out. Webb, Keats. London Fletcher's been all over the place today. He's playing like a 21-year-old.
Well, he doesn't stop. The guy's never missed a game in his whole entire career. And I love talking to London because he said his whole ambition when he first started as a college free agent with the Rams was just to make the practice squad. They've caught Kerrigan stunting inside a few times, which means Fletcher's going to be over the top to clean it up. As Kerrigan went inside the wing tight end. Look at London Fletcher just disengage off Asante Shanko and make the tackle.
And we'll see if that kept him from the first down just by that much. And when I asked London how he does it at age 36, the secret to staying young, he said, going to bed early at night, getting enough rest.
And you know what? Mike Shanahan does a great job of managing him during the week and giving him the time that he needs to get his body right. He's going to be a free agent after this season contractually. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't finish his career here with the Washington Redskins and they re-up another contract with him.
Already 13 tackles. They want one here on 3rd and inches.
Wow!
Toby Gerhart. Yeah, he got it. And he's still up. Tough running by Gerhart to midfield. And the Vikings with a fresh set of downs after a 14-yard run, and he earned every inch of it.
Well, and he ran right through London Fletcher. I mean, Fletcher's right there taking on the fullback. So he bounces to the inside of him. And then Perry Riley's there to make the tackle. And there's no chance as Gerhardt just breaks right through those guys.
Maybe Gerhardt got a little more rest last night. Right at midfield.
Think he slept on the bus?
No.
No. A little Percy Harvin pitch. Harvin inside the 20 of Washington. Boy, if you're a defender, you got to worry about a lot of things when Webb is back there flipping the ball around.
Yeah, and watch out here, Brian Arakpo, who's lined up on the left. He's usually on the right. He gets caught down, or excuse me, that's Josh Wilson gets caught down in the action inside. Get him matched up on an offensive lineman, forget it. And then Joe Webb getting a nice block on DeJon Gomes down the field.
Webb was all at 6'4". Lorenzo Booker is in after a 31-yard run by Harvin. And Booker goes straight ahead. Jim Haslett, whose red zone defense has been very good, but the Vikings, when they've got down there today, they punched it in.
Well, and there, Jim Haslett's defense getting smashed in the run game right now. Smashed, and a big one was that Harvin run right there, but already up over 200 yards running the football in this game. We're not even through the third quarter yet.
Gerhardt with 93 yards. Webb for Rudolph, and touchdown Minnesota. Rookie Kyle Rudolph.
That's terrific recognition from everybody, quarterback and receivers, recognizing man coverage. And I'm telling you, Rudolph has Perry Riley beat from the snap. Here's the guy who has Rudolph in man coverage. He's just going to run an out route and a corner route and run away from Perry Riley. There's the deep safety. There's no way he's going to get over the top. Perfect throw from Joe Webb.
Joe Webb with his second touchdown pass of the year. What happened on the extra point? It's no good. Went to the right. And that could prove costly. It's now only a 3-point difference. Kyle Rudolph with his third touchdown catch of the year.
You can't throw it any better if you're Joe Webb. I mean, this is just outstanding stuff. And Kyle Rudolph, the second rounder, is really starting to come on over the last few weeks and getting the ball in the end zone.
Came in with 21 catches. And Tim, let's take a closer look at what happened, because Ryan Longwell's been...
He had to slip or something with his plant foot.
The snap and hold looked good.
Nope. It's just a shank.
Looks like you playing golf.
No, I don't think so. Better speak for yourself, bro.
Oh, yeah, that was... He didn't go into that comfortably. The field's a little torn up.
Now he's playing in the grass.
Yeah,
I love that one.
Playing the field on an extra point. It's 23-20. And this has been a roller coaster ride on the third quarter, but Joe Webb has come on. It's got 2 quick touchdowns for Minnesota, one on the ground, one in the air.
What was that people were talking about a couple last week about this team not playing hard, packing it in? I don't think so.
Brandon Banks, can he help the Redskins again? He set him up last time on a nice return, but this time the Vikings, well, they have bottled up, but now he's loose. Here comes a flag as he goes down inside the 25. Brandon Burton finally got to him.
During the return of the kick, holding, receiving team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That'll back up Mike Shanahan's offense. Redskins trying to avoid a last place finish for the 4th straight year in the NFC East. Been a weird year in that division, but his second full year here in Washington.
Well, no question they want to finish strong, Chris, in these last 2 games and build some excitement for the offseason, for the players, for the coaches, for the fans alike. And if you can somehow win your last 3 and go in on a positive note, it'll go a long way towards the 2012 year.
Last 4 times the Redskins have touched the football on offense, they've scored. Grossman. Complete. Santana Moss right at the first down marker. Get coverage of every NFL game with NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL Now. Keeping an eye on some of the scores from around the league. New England and Miami. The Patriots are back within a touchdown in that game. Giants leading the Jets. And here after an 11-yard gain, 1st and 10 Washington. The pitch to Royster. Hit hole. Evan Royster is in Viking territory.
Well, this is perfectly executed, Chris. This is just a pitch stretch. So they're going to pitch it here and stretch. This is the guy, Jared Allen. You've got to get walled off. You get everybody else flowing and watch them get the defensive end walled off. And look at that running lane on the cutback for Evan Royster. And that's exactly how you draw it up. It's the stretch play with a pitch. Everybody's going to flow one way. Get that backside defensive end blocked, and it's downhill for a big pop for Evan Royster.
After a 28-yard run, the rookie from Penn State is closing in on 100 yards today. Ryan Terrain is in and gets the pitch. Here comes a flag on the back end of that play. 58 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. And a Washington drive that may be affected by this penalty. 4 penalties accepted on each team today.
Holding, offense number 82. 10-yard penalty remains. 1st down.
On Logan Paulson, the blocking tight end. His 2nd year from UCLA. That'll back up the Redskins and make it more difficult for Rex Grossman, who's gone 14 out of 23 for 166 yards and 2 touchdown passes.
Well, he's been darn good. He started slow in the beginning part of this game. He was not picking apart that secondary. And really, from about the 3rd drive on, Rex has been on his game, reading the coverage and delivering the football.
On 1st and 19, Grossman. Oh, that was a tough throw, but he was trying to go to Paulson. Let's get a game break. Check in with Kurt Menefee.
Patriots, once down 17-0 at home to the Dolphins, have done the comeback thing. They get close. Deion Branch, 1-yard touchdown reception from Tom Brady. That pulls them to within a touchdown. 17-10 right now. New England can clinch the #1 seed in the AFC today with a win and some help. Chris and Kim.
Thanks, Kurt. And the Ravens are winning at home against Cleveland. Another team involved maybe in that top seed, #1 seed in the AFC.
I love the fact there's 5 spots open and 15 teams are fighting for them.
On 2nd and 19, there's a flag down, and there's a catch made by Gaffney on the sideline, and he's not down yet. Jabbar Gaffney went out of bounds according to the officials at the 28-yard line. A lot going on one play.
Offside, defense number 52 in the neutral zone at the snap. This penalty is declined. The result to the play, 1st down.
Chad Greenway called for the penalty that they will decline because Gaffney, with his 5th catch, picked up 29 yards.
Well, and Rex Grossman and this guy Gaffney are absolutely on the same page. And Rex knows that it's going to be single safety high, which means he's got the perimeter isolation matchup. Gaffney puts the brakes on, comes back to the ball, breaks a tackle from Benny Sapp, and then gets pushed out of bounds. But I tell you, Rex and Jabbar Gaffney are on the money with each other today.
And what a wild 3rd quarter. The Vikings lead the Redskins 23-20. A wild 3rd quarter. We had a 67-yard run from Gerhardt. Joe Webb a touchdown run, and then a Grossman touchdown pass to Gaffney. And then Webb to Rudolph for another Viking touchdown. Now the Redskins start the 4th quarter on 1st and 10. It's Evan Royster, who's over 100 yards starts today. And the Penn State rookie, 4th string a few weeks ago, starting today.
This guy has got power. Watch him run through the arm tackle of big Kevin Williams. There's that stretch play again. Here's the cutback. There's big 93. I mean, he runs right through that 310-pounder. I mean, he's got some versatility to him as well in terms of power and speed. He's been really impressive today.
A 16-yard run. He's averaging 7 yards a carry. 112 yards rushing for Evan Royster.
And Minnesota's been a top 10 run defense all year. It's a statement.
Royster again. And at his first NFL start, as Kevin Williams makes the tackle, he gets 100
Kevin wasn't having it that time. Enough of this rook running through me.
Royster gets a breather. Remember, Roy Halou was a late scratch with a a toe and a knee injury.
Hey, let's give the offensive line some credit too, in terms of how beat up they've been all year long, and they're coming out and just smashing it on a good run defense.
2nd and 7. Ryan Terrain checks in. And Ryan Terrain gets the carry and gets shoved back by the Viking defense. Brian Robinson led the Vikings.
And I was telling you right before the half what's happened to this Minnesota team in the 3rd quarter of games, both offensively and defensively, giving up 122 points, only scored 48 in the 3rd quarters this season coming out of the locker room. Look what they've done today. Given up 10, scored 13. What do you think Leslie Frazier, the head coach, said to these guys in the locker room? Whatever it was, it worked.
Changed with Ponder and Peterson going out.
Incredible.
On 3rd down. Grossman incomplete. In the area of Royster, but it was not a nifty looking play. And here comes Graham Gano, and that missed extra point, part of that adventurous 3rd quarter by Longwell. Figures big here. If Gano comes through, will be tied. Longwell has made the field goals he lined up for and extra points prior to that last miss. This will be a 25-yard try for Gano. And same area of the field. He has no problem with the field. Gano's kick is good, and the Redskins are tied at 23 with the Vikings. 12:41 to go in the 4th quarter.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the 2012 Jeep Wrangler Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Edition. Rated M for mature. By Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving. And by Windows 7, it's a great time to be a family.
Just down the road from our nation's capital, and that's what makes the NFL great theater. When the day started, who would have thought the running game would have been about Toby Gerhart and rookie Evan Royster from Penn State? One over 100 yards, the other one headed there. And Marcus Sherrills runs it back for the Vikings. He's loose. Gano slows him down. Here comes a flag. And another flag. Gano better protect that kicking leg. The Vikings scored first. Adrian Peterson had a touchdown run, left injured. Christian Ponder, a touchdown pass, left injured. Joe Webb has helped Leslie Frazier's team battle back. On the Redskins, the last 5 times Mike Shanahan's team touched the ball on offense, they've scored. The last a field goal, and that's where we are.
Historically, when Mike Shanahan's, you can go all the way back to his days in Denver, when his teams can run the football, they're going to be able to get it done in many ways.
Both teams will offset at the dead ball spot, holding receiving team number 55. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 52. By rule, these penalties will offset first down.
You know what I'm saying about Shanahan? I mean, if they can run, they're going to have a chance in every game.
So with the penalty, will return. An adventurous third quarter for the Vikings. Adrian Peterson left injured, had to be carted to the locker room. Christian Ponder suffered a concussion out of the game and headed to the locker room. But Toby Gerhart had a 67-yard run to set up Joe Webb's touchdown run. He also threw a touchdown pass. And the Vikings built a lead that the Redskins battled back on a field goal to tie. And Minnesota at 23-all has the football once again. And other than the missed extra point overcoming injuries, the Vikings in good shape.
Yeah, and that's what I love about the NFL. Next man up and talent in terms of your depth. Certainly we've seen a good example of that with Gerhart and Joe Webb.
And after the offsetting penalties from the 28-yard line, 1st and 10. And Webb has it. Throws it. Incomplete. Ryan D'Imperio, the fullback. His first try on a pass today. Percy Harvin also had a big 31-yard run in that third quarter. He's caught 3 passes.
And remember, he got hurt early in the game. Right away.
Went to the locker room, came back out. It's been physically bruising. And Harvin back in here on 2nd and 10.
He's got Harvin in man coverage at the bottom if he wants it.
They're going to run with Gerhart. It'll be 3rd down. Adam Carricker there to make the stop.
Best year as a pro for Adam Carricker for sure. Remember, he was a high pick to the St. Louis Rams.
First round disappointment from their eyes.
That's right. And they were in a 4-man front up there. And Jim Haslett, who was up there with him as defensive coordinator, when Jim got here, he got him over here last year. And he's so much more effective in the 3-man front. Is more of a 2-gapper and a big heavy run defender. He's had a fine year.
On 3rd down, Webb for Harvin. He held on to him. Percy Harvin at the 35 of Washington, and what a throw from Webb under pressure.
Well, Joe Webb just launches it because there's 3 runners coming right in his face. Watch right here as Atogwe comes. Perry Riley as well. Atogwe comes unblocked off of his back foot. Webb just throws that up down the middle of the field, and there's Harvin in isolation coverage on Josh Wilson, and comes down with the catch.
A 36-yard pass play. And the Vikings set up as Joe Webb throws short, but caught by Aroma-Shadu at the 12-yard line. He had to come back to get the football.
Joe Webb just has this defense on their heels. And I know, talking to Jim Haslett about it, he didn't know and didn't anticipate Webb being a huge part of this game in terms of the impact. Right now, they're having a hard time stopping Joe Webb, who fakes a little option again, rolls out to the right, gets enough time, and then finds the soft spot in the zone to Aroma-Shadu.
23-yard completion. 2 receivers come out to the left. Toby Gerhart the back. Webb has it. And he goes out of bounds.
And when you don't work on the option all week and now you get a heavy dose of it thrown at you, Chris, it's difficult to stop, especially when Joe Webb's running it both ways. And that time he let the tight end lead up in front. And, you know, it's when you stop the option, it's all about assignment football and getting rep after rep after rep in practice. Hard to do in a game atmosphere when you haven't been practicing a lot against it.
2nd down 5. Webb floats one, and that is Percy Harvin for a Viking touchdown.
I just don't know how you stop that with Harvin's speed and Webb's versatility. Harvin comes all the way from the other side of the formation, and he's out in front of London Fletcher and Josh Wilson already.
Joe Webb, in less than a quarter, has thrown 2 touchdown passes and run one in. That was a weird-looking extra point, but the good news is it went through. And the Vikings offensive explosion behind Joe Webb and Percy Harvin have the lead against the Redskins.
Today's game is sponsored by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Merry Christmas from Landover, Maryland, as the Vikings' Ryan Longwell kicks off with a 30-23 lead. And here comes Brandon Banks. He stays up, knocked down short of a 19-yard line. And Percy Harvin, his 6th touchdown catch of the year.
And this play, what an execution by the players. What a play call by Bill Musgrave. There's London Fletcher. Watch Percy Harvin here. There's man coverage on him. He's already out leveraged, that being Josh Wilson. But the fake forces London Fletcher to take 2 false steps up inside. Harvin comes in motion, and he's already got the whole defense out leveraged. Joe Webb makes it look easy. What a terrific call, creative call from Bill Musgrave, the offensive coordinator.
5 catches today for Percy Harvin. And they didn't use Gerhardt at all in that drive. Grossman, quick throw, completes to Logan Paulson, his tight end. Well, Rex Grossman said that he played well the first 4 games before he went to the bench, but he needed to play great to hang on to the starting quarterback job.
Yeah, and he was disappointed because he has shown flashes of some outstanding play this year. But as he told us, it was the Philadelphia game and those 4 interceptions that really sealed his fate. He's doing a good job today, and guess what? He's going to get another opportunity next week at Philadelphia to redeem himself.
Evan Royster. First down for Washington. Royster is chewing up yardage on this Viking defense.
That stretch toss has by far been their most effective running play on the afternoon.
120+ yards after he picked up 8 there. Just at the 9-minute mark. We were talking about Grossman, who's got 2 touchdown tosses and does not have an interception.
And remember what I was saying about Mike Shanahan and his teams running the ball. When they couldn't run the ball in the early part of the year, they went through a 6-game losing streak. When they've been able to run it, they're the winner. They're in every game.
And Royster runs it here. Here another first down. Just a little bit short. Let's get a game break and check in with Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
Well, the Giants running the ball well on this play, at least Ahmad Bradshaw is, dancing and then blowing past Rodney Poole. 14-yard score. Giants have put up 17 unanswered and now have a 10-point lead over the Jets in the 4th quarter. Chris and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. So it makes America's game of the week that much bigger. Cowboys and Eagles coming up on the NFL on Fox after this one.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what Big Rex has to say if the Jets can't win that one.
Those Ryans do an awful lot of talking.
Something to shut up every once in a while, will you?
On 2nd and 1, Grossman confused, but Brandon Banks isn't. And Brandon Banks streaking down the side. There's a flag down at the 40. Way back where Rex Grossman is standing.
Yeah, I think this one's coming back, Chris, with some holding calls.
Holding, offense, number 36. 10-yard penalty, repeat, 2nd down.
That's on Darrell Young, who is the young fullback, and it negates a spectacular touchdown run by Banks.
And it goes around the left side, and Jared Allen's the guy that gets help. I don't know about that. I mean, I didn't see him grabbing any cloth. I saw Jared just trip up on him. I didn't see him wrap up that leg. That's a tough call. Typically, though, when it's at the point of attack on the edge and when Spring's the big run, they're going to make that call. But that was a tough one on Darrell Young.
Banks was flying, only 150 pounds. But the touchdown is wiped out. And he is disappointed. 2nd down, 10, Washington. Grossman's throw over the head and intercepted. Mistrail Raymond has the first Viking interception in 10 games.
Well, they're sitting in 2 deep, cover 2. Right there, the 2 deep safeties. That's going to be the soft spot. Right there behind the linebacker and in front of the safety. Here's Moss on the in route, and Rex just overthrows it. just overthrew it. I mean, no chance for that ball for Santana Moss. He could have been 7 foot tall and wouldn't have been able to go up and get that one.
Yeah, and for Grossman, 19th interception thrown by Grossman, but that ends that string, that 9 straight without a pick, the second longest since 1950 when the 49ers went that long on defense. So the Viking defense sets up Joe Webb in the offense. And here comes Gerhardt, powering his way through, looking like Larry Zonka on this Christmas Eve. And with his 19th interception, Grossman equaling a team record. Consecutive games, that's 11 straight. Norm Snead.
Yeah, and there's no excuse for that one, Chris. I mean, he read the coverage properly. He put it to the right spot in terms of where he was supposed to go with the football, and it was just an errant throw.
Second down, 2. Gerhardt will have a first down. Here the 10 of Washington. And Toby Gerhardt's over 100 yards today. Called upon in the second half. Adrian Peterson injured early in the third quarter. And Gerhardt has carried the load on the ground with Joe Webb, who came in for Christian Ponder, who was injured. Joe Webb has it and keeps it. It'll be second down. Vikings high point this year, point-wise 34. They hope to add to that with a 7-point lead.
Tell you what's interesting is they've got 233 yards rushing in this game. They've had 2 other performances this year where they've gone over 200 yards rushing. That usually means a victory. They lost both of those games. Some play action here to the tight end.
Shenko has not caught a pass today. He dropped one earlier as Gerhardt carries. And Reed Dowdy makes a nice stop coming up for the safety start.
Dowdy always good as a run defender. Usually going to end up being the extra guy up in the running box, coming off the edge. And this one had no chance. They had Josh Wilson matched up on the edge on Kyle Rudolph, the tight end. I thought they would have gone there out of some play action.
After a 2-yard loss, it's 3rd and 9. Harvin in at running back and gets the carry. And Minnesota will be faced with a 4th down. Here comes Ryan Longwell. Nothing automatic, although he's made some field goals. He missed the extra point cleanly on his own. Vikings letting the clock run. So 1 for 2. And this a 23-yard try. Snap kick hold. And he punches it through. Minnesota widens its lead to 10 over the Redskins. Jimmy Klagsaucer, the longtime tight end of the Vikings, retiring at the end of this year, has been a real gamer and well connected to this franchise and community. As Longwell kicks off for the Vikings, and Brandon Banks, remember, he had the touchdown run that was negated by the penalty, and then the interception by Grossman. 13 seasons as a Viking tight end. Most games played by a tight end in team history, 180th today. 3rd most in receptions. And from North Dakota, about a 10-hour drive. His parents often come out to see him play in Minnesota. He's blocked for more than 60 100-yard rushers over his Viking career.
Well, and that's been his game over the years, and he's been such a mentor. Look at that, as you just said, 6,100+ yard rushers in his career. Such a mentor just through work ethic and attitude and example for a lot of young players. in Minnesota for a long time. I always looked at him as a big offensive lineman that could run and catch. He's got that kind of blocking ability.
Royster as a receiver on the right, and that's Dante Stallworth making a catch from Grossman. Kleinsasser wore as a child, great article in the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. He wore as a grade schooler, as they go to a no-huddle, a Joe Theismann jersey to school, and the teacher almost reprimanded him, saying, you know, that's not really a career. Well, you better study and work hard. He did both of those, but he just moved him into the football
Surprised
area.
in North Dakota she didn't ask, where's your Joe Cap jersey? What are you doing wearing a Theismann jersey?
What a career for Kleinsasser. We'll check on the injury and have more in a moment. Wrapping the ankle of Dante Stallworth. That was the injury on the field. Don't forget, after this game, the Eagles and Cowboys. America's game of the week. The Giants with a 20-7 fourth quarter lead over the Jets.
Unbelievable that the Eagles are still alive, huh?
Rex Grossman completes just short of the 35-yard line. He did hang on. That's Terrence Austin with the grab. And it is a Washington first down. Pass is a little behind, but hauled in by Anthony Armstrong. And the Redskins are hustling. Over 3 minutes to play here, but down 33-23.
Yeah, with a 10-point lead, they're just going to sit in that cover 2 shell and force Rex Grossman to throw it underneath with the checkdowns.
There's another one. That's to Royster. And Evan Royster gets to midfield for another Redskin first down onto the Viking side of the field. Each team with 3 timeouts.
Yeah, so somebody here is going to have to break a tackle on one of these short passes from Rex Grossman.
There's another short throw by Terrence Austin, hauled in. I tell you, Washington just needs a field goal and a touchdown to create a tie, so if they get something on this drive.
That's right. Rex just needs to keep staying patient and delivering the football and breaking down that two-deep coverage.
Inside the 35, Santana Moss, who's been quiet today, pushed back, but it should be enough for another Redskin first down, and it is. They opt to spike the ball. 3 timeouts remaining. You mentioned, Tim, that there were 15 teams alive for 5 playoff spots, and in the NFC we know that Green Bay, San Francisco, and New Orleans are in. And after that, well, Atlanta and Detroit in great position for the wild card, but that's NFC East. The Eagles could end up
crazy
8-8 and win the division.
Yeah, it's crazy the way that it's all working out. Love the drama of the NFL.
Flag down, catch made.
I think they're going to get Jamal Brown out here on a hold, the right tackle on Christian Ballard.
Illegal motion. Offense number 8 was stepping forward at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
The call on Grossman.
Yeah, because I tell you, you watch the right side, and they took Christian Ballard down to the ground. Did the right tackle. See, now that Rex spiked it, it's...
Second and 15.
Yeah.
That's Ryan Terrain, who stays on his feet and does not get out of bounds, but we reach the 2-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. The Redskins have the football. They trail the Vikings 33-23. Ryan Terrain injured on the last play. Now on 3rd and 12, 4 wide receivers.
Be interesting to see if they don't get the first down. If they choose just to get their 3 now, I would assume they would.
Depends on the yardage they'll get on this play, as Grossman gets at least to the 30 on the pass completion to Moss.
Yeah, you got to take your field goal. Get the 3 points right now.
And that's what they're doing. Here comes Graham Gano. He's kicked 50 plus, as we've seen, so if he's good here, then they can try the onside kick with 3 timeouts. 47-yard try. Snap, kick, hold, and Gano is good. Redskins within 7. 1:25 to go. The NFL on Fox continuing with America's game of the week. It matters much. Cowboys and Eagles. Dallas with the upper hand in the NFC East, but the Eagles, a lot of healthy parts coming together at the right time. Maybe they have awoken from the dream. Cowboys and Eagles. Earlier in the year, remember Philadelphia and LaShawn McCoy ran all over Dallas. We'll see what happens here. It's coming up following us on the NFL on Fox. So now there's different types of onside kicks. You got the bouncer, you got the
Well, I always prefer
floater.
the bouncer that bounces and skyrockets up into the air and gives your coverage unit an opportunity to get underneath it as it's coming down.
And Graham Gano has never had an onside kick that's been successful in 3 tries. That's not good news if you're a Redskin fan. And they got the hands team up for Minnesota.
They'll line up even, and then they'll end up sending a few guys to one side for the onside kick. They're kicking it away. Wow, they're trusting their defense.
And here's Percy Harvin. They had everybody fooled. Harvin just downs it with no blockers out there.
Wait, that surprises me. I could see it if there's 2+ minutes, but with 1:25 to go. I know you have your 3 timeouts, but 80 seconds, 85 seconds on the clock.
Maybe the Gano onside kicking history had something to do with it. Mike Shanahan's been at this game a long time. We'll see if his defense can do the job. They'll have a short field if they can stop him here. Toby Gerhart, his first career 100-yard game. He's in the backfield. He gets the carry. They haven't been able to stop him. And a quick timeout. Gerhart, that was his 10th rush for 100+. Remember, he had the big 67-yard run, helped get the Vikings going in that tumultuous third quarter.
And if you're Minnesota, you don't throw the football clearly and give them an opportunity to stop the clock. You keep it on the ground. You make them use all 3 of their timeouts. So if you do have to punt to them, they've got, far less than a minute to move it down the field and get in the end zone for a touchdown.
And you have Joe Webb, Tim, who can run with the football.
Run the option with Joe Webb, you bet.
Webb has a touchdown run and a couple of touchdown passes since coming in for Christian Ponder, who suffered a concussion. The rookie quarterback for the Vikings, who, by the way, with 2 wins, of course, this could be their 3rd if they hang on, in the mix for that first overall pick with the Rams and Colts. It's Gerhart. And this will be another timeout for Washington. And they'll have 1 remaining. If Jim Haslett's defense can stop Minnesota here, maybe 50 seconds plus for the offense.
And a big risk kicking it to Minnesota, but the potential for a high reward of assuring that you're going to get the ball back.
Chris Kluwe has had a good day, a decent day punting the ball for Minnesota. He may be on the spot here. The 3rd and 5 will decide things. Redskins trying to win their 6th game of the year. That was their total victory count of last year.
Going to run that little read option play here with Joe Webb.
And Webb has it, and the Redskins are ready for it.
I didn't agree with that. Joe Webb should have ran to the sideline and chewed up more time. I mean, he just gave himself up. That was a 2-second play. Joe Webb makes the read. That's just youth. I mean, if he understands the clock situation, he's going to fake the read here. He sees Kerrigan. He just gives himself up. Run to the sideline and try to make something out of it, and you'll be chewing the clock at the same time.
Instead, right into the arms of a couple of Redskins. So old Mike Shanahan knew what was going on, and Grossman will have a chance to lead a comeback here. Kluwe, his first punt, 45 yards. His second punt, 40 yards. This will be his 3rd punt that'll be standing at his goal line.
That is incredible.
Clock
was 12 seconds. I mean, there's a minute 8. There was a minute 20 when they started the drive.
2 extra plays, and Brandon Banks, remember, although it was not a return, it was on a pitch run play. He had a touchdown called back. He can fly. No timeouts for the Redskins. Brandon Banks goes right down where he caught it at the 35 on a 49-yard kick. Best of the day by Kluwe, and not much on the return.
Well, the punt took longer than the 3 plays.
Well, Grossman will have 55 seconds. He's going to have to go 60-plus yards depending upon this spot.
And Minnesota, Leslie Frazier will not give them a chance to hit a big one down the field, and they will sit in that 2 deep with the 2 deep safeties.
You got Anthony Armstrong, who's a speed guy, splits way out to the right, number 13.
Of course, Rex has got to try to work the sidelines here if he can to get the clock stopped.
He has time and floats it for Stallworth, who gets a nice block and gets into Viking territory. Royster had a nice block to help spring it. Nearing the 40-second mark. You figure he would spike it here. He wasn't ready for that snap, and there's a penalty. We may get a runoff on the clock as well with an offensive.
Offense. Quarterback and others were not set at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
See, I thought that they should have spiked it anyway.
Well, and Rex wasn't ready for it. Montgomery snaps it right here as Rex is still trying to call out the signals. They're going to end up giving him a runoff here, I would think. Tony Corrente under a minute. It did stop the clock.
The game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 25 seconds and start the clock on my signal.
Yeah, because if there's a penalty that stops a running clock, it's going to end up being a runoff, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, a major miscue on the part of the Redskins. You lose maybe a play or two on that.
We're still not set up here.
The big penalty against the Redskins, and should be at 25 seconds, was the holding penalty that called back the Brandon Banks touchdown run.
That's right.
Because that Grossman threw the interception. Minnesota got a field goal, and that provided the biggest difference. And that's the amount of time.
With the game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 23 seconds, which is where it should be after the runoff, and start on my signal.
Yeah, so they wanted to run 10 from the 33.
Correct.
Offensive penalty where the clock would have.
Either way, catastrophic error.
That does cost you at least 2 plays.
And not being able to execute the spike.
So with 33 seconds to go, you need the touchdown.
This still needs to be changed to 23.
23 seconds.
It's a 25 in the stadium. It's a 33 on our screen. When the stadium changes, then we'll change it. But you know where we're coming from. 23 seconds to go. Grossman for the sideline and overthrows Gaffney, who was open. He had a step and a half. It'll be second down, but the clock is the bigger issue.
And that's the right idea. I mean, that's the cover 2 hole behind the corner and inside the safety. Rex just put too much air under it, and you certainly got to work the sidelines here with time being of the essence.
All right, I'm going to help with the clock. 16 seconds officially remaining here. We'll keep you informed if it does not show up. Pass complete to Stallworth, who's looking to get out of bounds, and does. 8 seconds remain. There we go. We've got the lower part of the screen. You go for the Hail Mary here. You're 42 yards away from the end zone. Joe Webb waiting for those seconds to tick away for a Viking victory.
Yeah, I think you do. And you're going to send 3 out to one side. There's the time remaining in the game. Get into the end zone and have one guy be in a trailer.
Grossman for the end zone. Gaffney is back there, and it's batted away, along with Armstrong and Moss. And officially, it's over. Joe Webb and Toby Gerhart get the Vikings a victory over Rex Grossman. For Tim Ryan, I'm Chris Myers, our entire crew. Merry Christmas. Let's go to Kurt Menefee.